This is 5 on your side at 4. Focused on you.
We begin with breaking news as we go on the air at 4. Right now, St. Louis County Police are investigating an officer-involved shooting that left a man injured. Thanks for being here. I'm Kay Quinn.
And I'm Brent Solomon. Police say that they shot a man after he stole a woman's car keys and then fired at an officer. It happened late this morning on Parker Road near Florissant, and that road just reopened about an hour ago. That's where we find our Diamond Palmer live for us tonight with what she's learning from investigators. Diamond.
Well, Brent and Kay, this all happened this morning at 11:30 a.m. in the parking lot of Dollar General along Parker Road, and a man attempted to rob a woman of her car keys. He then got in that vehicle, and shortly after he got out. Now that's when police calls came in and about the attempted vehicle robbery. An officer patrolling this area was the first to make contact with the suspect.
The suspect began firing multiple shots at our officer's vehicle, striking only the vehicle but not the officer. The officer was able to return fire and struck the suspect. The officer immediately applied aid to the suspect, and shortly afterward the suspect was transported to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
Now, thankfully, no officers were hurt in today's incident, but St. Louis County Police Department does tell us that dashcam video will be made available after the investigation concludes. Reporting in North County, Diamond Palmer, 5 on your side.
Also breaking right now, a man is in custody in Chapel Hill after reports of a shooting on the campus of the University of North Carolina. There's a lot that's not known right now, but the school sent out an alert around 1 this afternoon about an armed and dangerous person who was on or near campus. The school was put on lockdown while police investigated. At this time, there are no reports of injuries, and an all clear was issued just in the last hour. We will stay on top of all of these breaking stories and continue to update you on air on KSDK.com and on the 5 on Your Side app as we learn more.
Well, right now there's a new law in effect for all of Missouri. It bans you from holding a cell phone while driving. Now, you are allowed to use Bluetooth or voice-activated features. Until January of 2025, police will only give out warnings. After that, fines start at $150. Missouri is the 49th state to ban texting while behind the wheel of a car. Another law that bans transgender care for most minors went into effect today. An effort to stop the ban failed last week in court. The law prohibits health care providers from performing gender-affirming surgeries on minors. It also blocks doctors from prescribing hormone therapy to any minors not already being treated. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, will have more on the new law and the continued fight against it tonight on 5 on Your Side at 5 and 6. Happening in just a few hours from now, the Jennings City Council expected to give a vote of no confidence to Mayor Gary Johnson. 5 members of the council sent him a letter last week accusing him of abusing his power and forcing employees to resign. He had no comment on that letter. The meeting starts tonight at 7. Well, today, Tropical Storm Idalia is expected to intensify before hitting Florida's Gulf Coast. It's predicted to become a Category 3 hurricane by Wednesday. State and local governments there declaring a state of emergency. We head over now to Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell, who is tracking the storm.
And there's actually 2 hurricanes, well, 2 tropical systems. One is a very strong hurricane out in the Atlantic. That's Franklin. The other is Idalia, and that one is right now a very strong tropical storm. Will become a hurricane very soon, if not in the next 4 to 6 hours, certainly during the overnight hours. You can see the 2 systems there. One clearly looks like a hurricane. Idalia, which is off the west coast, the west tip of Cuba there, is strengthening, and you see that big burst of thunderstorms in and around that area. Right now, 70-mile-per-hour winds with gusts up to 85 miles per hour, moving to the north at about 8 miles per hour, just a few miles per hour short of actually at this point becoming a hurricane. It's not far off from it. It will, and it likely will strengthen rapidly, becoming a major hurricane as it heads towards the Big Bend area in Florida. A very unpopulated area, but certainly with big impacts. And that could include the Tampa area with storm surge impacts there. We'll keep an eye on it. Brent?
All right, Scott. Thank you much. A federal judge has now set a trial date in former President Trump's election interference case. It will begin next year on March 4th. Now, that's the day before the presidential primary, Super Tuesday. A judge in Georgia also set an arraignment date for the former president and his 18 co-defendants in the case involving efforts to overturn the 2020 election in that state. That's scheduled for next Wednesday, September 6th.
Today marks 60 years since the historic March on Washington, where Martin Luther King Jr. gave his I Have a Dream speech. In 1963, hundreds of thousands gathered at the Lincoln Memorial advocating for racial and social equality. Advocacy ultimately leading to the Civil Rights Act of 1964. But many are still working to stamp out racism in the country. On the same weekend of the 60th anniversary, tragedy in Jacksonville, Florida. A man opened fire, killing 3 people at a dollar store in what police say was a racially motivated attack. The 21-year-old gunman died from a self-inflicted wound. MLK's granddaughter addressed the shooting yesterday.
60 years ago, my grandfather delivered his dream, his message, and that was a call to action. And 60 years later, the dream still has not been fulfilled. We are not where we need to be.
Police say the Jacksonville gunman sent racist writings to local law enforcement, the media, and his own parents, expressing his desire to kill black people. Many communities around the country continued the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. with their own marches this weekend. Communities nationwide also looking at ways to repair race-based harms. St. Louis has its own reparations commission. That group holds public meetings 1 to 2 times a month.
Much more still ahead. For the first time in 5 years, people gathering in St. Louis for a music festival. We're checking in with organizers to see if they're willing to bring it back again.
It's a dream come true for an area second grader and a milestone for a local nonprofit, and it all involves a piano.
And our MDA telethon, a huge success at Grant's Farm last night. Thanks to you, we were able to raise over $270,000. All money raised during the telethon supports people with neuromuscular diseases in our area.